Yo, what up, guys? Travic here. Today, I want to talk about a hot topic. I want to talk about power charge generation. I know a lot of you guys have come to me and asked me a whole bunch of questions about power charges after my last video, and I know a lot of you guys are trying to do the whole swap to CI. You want to play with Tempest Flurry, you want to play with Stormwave, and you guys are having a hard time generating power charges. So today, what I want to do is I want to talk about power charges, how to generate power charges, how to use a bunch of different skills that can generate power charges, and some of the best ways to generate power charges if you just happen to be blowing up the entire screen. Now, a lot of you guys have said to me very recently, hey man, I'm playing the CI build. The CI build's insane. It's so strong. It's so good. I'm blowing up entire screens. Things are going great, but I'm not generating charges. What's going on? Well, first and foremost, let's talk about power charges. First things first. You want to make sure that you have all of your spirit, and you want to make sure that you do this by taking off your body armor and then checking that you have 100% spirit from the campaign. Once you have 100% or 100 spirit from the campaign and you're a monk and you click on your monk ascendancy node, lead me through grace, you want to get a body armor that gives you extra spirit based on the amount of evasion and energy that you have. So we have two chests here. One is 719 evasion with 269 energy shield. I put this on, I get 191 spirit. And then I have another one that is 1097, 415. I put this on, I get 242. This says for every 6 points of evasion on my body armor, or every 6 points of energy shield on my body armor, I get a point of spirit, and every 15 points of evasion on my body armor, I get a spirit. So you want to start generating enough spirit. Once you have enough spirit to fit your auras, one of those auras needs to be Combat Frenzy. Combat Frenzy says that we generate a frenzy charge when we freeze electrocutor pin no more than once every X amount of seconds. The more that we level it and the more that we put on quality, the more that we generate charges. You could see with profusion and quality on my Combat Frenzy, we have an additional chance to gain a charge. We have a 70% chance to gain a charge every 1.73 seconds. So this means every time that we freeze electrocutor pin, we will generate a charge. Now we are generating frenzy charges using Combat Frenzy, and that means that we have to find a way to convert frenzy charges to power charges, and we do this with resonance. Resonance says gain a power charge instead of a frenzy charge, so when we generate these charges by freezing and electrocuting, we generate a power charge. Some people have come to me and said, hey man, I don't get it, I'm generating endurance charges. Why, when I do this setup, do I generate endurance charges? Well, if you use a skill that naturally generates power charges like Siphoning Strike, they will immediately generate endurance charges. So the setup only works if you freeze or electrocute with a skill that does not naturally generate a power charge. So as long as you don't naturally generate a power charge, you will generate a frenzy charge and convert it. We generate our power charges in this variant of the build, with the link for the build is down below. We generate it by freezing and electrocuting. We do this a couple of ways. One, we generate a whole lot of cold damage for our Tempest Flurry. You can see right here, we have 854 cold damage. We are generating all of our cold damage from our Monk Ascendancy node. I am the Blizzard. The more overall damage that you have, 10% of that immediately becomes cold damage. So if you don't do enough damage and you're not generating enough cold, it is really hard to chill and it is really hard to freeze. So you either need more damage or flat cold damage on something. I also have some flat cold damage on my weapon, which is also helping, but flat cold damage is, if you look at my weapon, the 36 to 50, that is flat cold damage. So you need some sort of cold, whether it be on your weapon, on your ring, from your Monk Ascendancy node, or if you've gotten the, controlled metamorphosis and you're grabbing this node here for extra cold damage, you need cold damage somewhere. So that's the first thing that we're doing. The second thing that we're doing is we're electrocuting with some of our skills. Thanks to my buddy Aerith, we've managed to find out that we can generate charges if we electrocute with Herald of Thunder. Now, Herald of Thunder base on it says that, where is it? It says somewhere on here, cannot inflict shock. So we can't shock innately with Herald of Thunder, but that does not mean that we cannot electrocute. So if we give Herald of Thunder the ability to electrocute, we can indeed generate charges. So we're generating charges from both freezing and electrocuting, both with our main skill being a lightning skill and having enough cold damage to freeze, and our Herald of Thunder giving us charges from electrocute. Now, if you're playing the build like I've been playing, or you're doing this really cool massive explosions from this ring and things are going great, and you're having a hard time generating charges because you're blowing up the screen, you're just doing too much damage. You either A, need to do harder content, B, hit a rare, or C, you're just gonna like have to like stagger when you get your charge staff. Now, the biggest thing people say is charge staff just falls off. I don't understand. Charge staff isn't working. I can't be a Jedi for very long. How do I fix this? Well, let's just talk about charge staff. Charge staff says that we generate a power charge and we consume it, and charge staff lasts for 6 seconds when I consume a power charge. Every charge that I get increases the amount of stacks on charge staff. Charge staff's maximum stacks are equal to the maximum number of power charges that you have. Your character starts innately with 3 power charges. There are power charges on the tree where you can generate more. There is 2 power charges there that would put you to 4, 5. There's a power charge there that would put you to 6, and there's a power charge there that would put you to 7. The more charges that you consume, the longer that charge staff lasts. And if you have 1 power charge and you consume 1 charge, charge staff will go to 1. If you have 2, it'll go to 2. If you have 3, it'll go to 3. If you have all 5, it'll immediately jump to 5. What's really cool about charge staff is if I have 1 stack and then I generate 1 power charge and I consume 1 power charge, my charge staff will go to 2. If I then again generate 1 and I consume 1, it'll go to 3. And then if I happen to say just generate 2 and I consume the 2, it'll go to 5. Once you're at 5, if you generate 1 charge and you consume 1 charge, it will stay at 5 and refresh the timer, adding in time. So if it's like 6 seconds, you add another 6 seconds or whatever the duration is. You just keep adding time to charge staff. So if you're cruising and you're mapping and you have charge staff and you generate 1 charge, click the button, keep going. But if you're mapping and you're cruising and you have a map and you start blowing things up too fast because it's just too easy, there is a way that you can generate a ton of charges. We're just going to go into a basic map. It has a bunch of stuff on it. You can see it's got, you know, monsters deal a bunch of damage, and we're going to showcase a really cool way to generate charges. And if the video hasn't given it away, whether in the title or the thumbnail, we're going to be generating charges using our Tempest Bell. Tempest Bell is the best way in a map where you just hit everything and blow the screen up to generate charges. You see, we generated charges from there. We hit it hard enough. We generate charges again. We hit it hard enough. We have 3 stacks there. We click again. We get 4. And then let's just go find a pack of mobs. And I'll show you guys. See, we're not generating. We go. We have 5. We miss. We hit that mob. We don't get a charge. Let's just keep going. We generate charges again. I consume my charges back to 51 seconds. Now let's generate charges using our bell. Now, if we find a pack of mobs, wherever there may be a pack of mobs, we're going to get 4 combo points for our bell, and then we're going to showcase. So let's just generate our charges here. Let's hit this mob. Let's hit this mob. Let's consume these charges. We'll hit this mob. We have no charges. We drop our bell. We hit our bell, and boom, charges. Just that simple. So if you're mapping and you're playing this build and you're struggling for charges and you're cruising and kicking butt, if you just happen to have enough to drop your bell while you're cruising, let's just do it in action. Just ring your bell. Like, the bell is so powerful. Not only does the bell allow you to just kind of keep going and cruising, the bell just gives you the ability at will to generate charges. And you see, charges, especially with the new gem setup, thanks to Aerith, haven't been that big of a problem. You can get the links to all the skills down below. We'll talk about them again in a second. But you can see that we're just going, we're cruising, we have charges, no problems at all. Everything's dying. Everything's actually dying so fast, I just can't even, like, in a map like this, like, generate the bell. There's the bell, hit it, get a bunch of charges, do that, and then we're off to the races again. And you see, just while doing this map, everything's dying immediately. I'm getting my charges and I'm constantly just pressing the button to refill my charge staff. I want to make sure that charge staff is up all the time without any issues. So there you see that. Looking good. I don't actually know what those are. We're going to pick those up. I haven't seen those before. Now, this setup that we're playing allows you to do a lot of really cool things. I can indeed play Tempest Flurry. I know some of you guys don't like Tempest Flurry. I know some of you guys want to play with other skills like Stormwave, and Stormwave's a big one they get asked about. I'm actually trying out, and I've been testing Stormwave, and Stormwave's been a lot of fun. I've actually been testing this, and I've been using Stormwave with Upheaval, Mobility, Rage, and Martial Tempo, and I've been having the same kind of success where I can just like go around my map, sweep my broom, clean up the dust, and immediately blow up all the mobs. The big difference is when you use Stormwave, you will not generate Tempest Bell charges, so you have to be a little bit more adamant about pressing your power charge button to generate your charges. I think Stormwave is one hell of an awesome map clearing skill, but it's really bad for bosses, and I swap it out all the time when I do map bosses. But in terms of clearing the map, I think Stormwave is really good. I like both of these skills a lot. I think these skills are really, really, really solid, and they're all a lot of fun to play with. I do know a lot of you guys like playing with Ice Strike, and you would rather just kind of do Ice Strike things. So we can indeed go to our stash, we can go to our swap, we can grab our Ice Strike gem, we can look for the one that's leveled with quality, and we could just kind of do the same thing. We could take out our Stormwave, we could put in our Ice Strike, and then we could put in skills that would give us more damage. So we get our inspiration. We don't have 5 links, so we're not gonna do inspiration. We're gonna do primal armaments. We're gonna do rage, so we generate some rage. We'll do some martial tempo, so we get. All right, we'll do inspiration. We'll do inspiration, and then we just go into a map and we do the exact same thing, but we get to play with Ice Strike now, and we have, oh, I actually don't like this skill at all. Oh my god. Yeah. Immediately almost got insta clap because of the teleport and teleporting on the monsters. Oh no, dude. How people play with this is beyond me. I used to like it, and then I learned, but you can see, you immediately just go into a map, you generate your charges, you're a little bit slower with attacking, it's fine. It's a little bit easier to freeze, you'll generate charges a little bit easier, and you just essentially do the same thing. You just blow up the whole screen, and you're still generating charges, you're doing a bajillions of damage, your damage is scaling to the moon, and you can essentially just use any monk skill that you want. Just be careful when you're trying to generate charges off the bat with Ice Strike and teleporting straight into the heart of combat and immediately almost getting collapsed, because that's super embarrassing. But yeah, if you're having a hard time and you're not generating charges, just take advantage, drop your bell, hit your bell once or twice, generate some charges, get the extra damage from your bell, especially from igniting your bell if you're using any sort of fire damage, and you're back off to the races, where you can just generate your bell, you can jump into the heart of mobs, you can kill a bunch of things, and you can generate a whole lot of charges. And I realized very quickly that it became very clear to me very quickly, especially while bossing, because a bunch of people are like, how do you boss with this? Like, how are you generating charges on bosses? And I would tell them, I would be like, just freeze your bell. And you're like, freeze your bell? That doesn't make any sense. And then it started to slowly dawn on me that a lot of players didn't realize that you could just press the bell button, drop the bell, freeze the bell, electrocute the bell, generate charges, and keep on trucking along. So I was like, oh my God, let me get this information out to you guys. This might be really helpful to you guys. This might help you guys out a lot. And just kind of like, one of those things with like sharing information is like absolute key. But I wanted to make sure that you guys knew about this because, like I said, it is very impactful. It makes your clear really good. It makes your speed really good. And if you're playing the game and you're blowing up multiple screens and everything's going insanely smooth, it's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But all of the skills are listed down below. All of my gear is listed down below. You'll get everything you need inside of the Mobalytics link. All of the skills, all the everything. But essentially, try out this skill setup. Put Electrocute on Herald of Thunder. See if that helps fix your problems. Drop your bell every once in a while and give it an honest shot. If you're still having trouble or things still aren't going well, or you're still struggling, leave a comment down below. Come stop by the Discord. Come by the live stream. Ask us a bunch of questions. We'll do our best to get you the help that you guys need. But for now, friends, I hope this gave you a little bit of clarity. I hope this gave you a little bit of direction. And if you've made it this far in the video, please don't, hit the like button, leave a comment. All of that stuff really helps the channel, and I truly appreciate it a lot. But for now, friends, let me know if this helped. Let me know if this didn't help. Let me know if you want more tips and tricks like this for the monk or for other future classes, and I'll make sure to get those videos out to you guys. But for now, friends, I'm going to go get this video done and out to you, and I'll see you all in the next one.